At the time I am posting this video, it is exactly 2 weeks until Black Friday of 2025. And every year I do some kind of video looking back at the previous Black Friday so that we can make wise judgments for this year's Black Friday deals. But this is the latest I'm doing this video, and oddly enough, I think it's actually going to be a little more helpful. This is going to be more of a hybrid of what happened last year and what's happening this year. To my shock, at the time I'm filming this, Sephora has already confirmed the 25% off KLARNA. We've got some deals already going on. We've got deals you can sign up for. I think it's going to be an interesting video. Now, timestamps and links are going to be in the description box below, as always, if you would like to jump around. Affiliate links if you would like to help support the channel. But where I want to start this video is some general tips and tricks to help with your beauty deals shopping. The fastest one is for me to quickly tell you that this is YouTube and it takes a while to film and then edit and then upload a video. So please follow me over on Instagram. That is where I am already starting some Black Friday deals postings. You just can't do it faster than an Instagram story. It's just the fastest way to communicate information. It's the best place for you to let me know about deals. I swear I'm going to be better about checking my DMs. I've been bad about it all year, but now it's in my Finch. Now I have a reward for if I remember to check my DMs every day. The other big general tip is to use the cashback services. Sometimes I see people say things like, oh, but for some reason I didn't get my cashback. The number one reason you didn't get cashback is because you didn't use one of the codes that is a main code, let's say. For example, last weekend, I think it was last weekend, maybe 2 weekends ago, Rakuten did 20% cashback at ULTA. But the catch was you had to use that gifts code that got $20 off 100, as opposed to those long number and letter sequences that they send via email. And the quickest way to know if you're using a code that is approved is it'll be listed on the cashback website. Again, the three I use are Rakuten, Top Cashback, and Be Frugal. I check all three of them before I make an order. And also, just so you know the way I do it, I click through those to do my shopping, and then I click through before I place my order, just to make sure, because sometimes you might accidentally click an email or open some kind of a tracking link that would take you away from the cashback service. And the final thing I want to talk to you about is I really want you to get the best deals this year, but I want it to be for what you need. And this is a really hard conversation to convey because everybody has different needs, everybody has different products that they use, everybody has different skin. So after thinking about this for way too long, what I've ultimately concluded is I'm going to tell you about the two scenarios that happened to me as a deal shopper. One good and one bad. The first scenario is where I place an order and oh my gosh, the second I get that confirmation page loaded, I'm going, I got such a good deal. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I waited until the best deals of the year. I cannot believe they threw in those free gifts. I am gonna get so much use out of everything in my order. I cannot wait to get it. But the second scenario, the second you get that confirmation page up, you go, oh, I should not have done this. Why did I feel like this was the time to buy? I don't have this money, or I'm not going to use these products. I don't feel good about this. That's it. Those are the two scenarios that are associated with sale shopping. And again, I can't predict which is going to be which. For you, the same exact order confirmation page can have different feelings for different people. But what I can tell you is I think it will help you to know in advance that those are the two outcomes. So that before your finger clicks that order now, you can go, okay, Alice told me about these two scenarios. Which one is it going to be once I click this? I think this is the closest I ever get to talking about meditating, if you will. Is yes, I want you to meditate on which outcome you think you will have. Because I want the first for you. I want you to feel good about your purchases. I want you to buy items that are relevant for you, but we're not the exact same person. What I like might not be what you like, and vice versa. So without further ado, let's get into this year's Black Friday deals, and I do want to start with what's going on right now. At this time last year, I did a sponsorship with Current Body. That LED mask, the Series 2, is still 100% my favorite LED mask. In fact, the only reason I'm not doing a sponsorship with them this year is simply because I have not been able to find extra time in my life. But in last year's comment section, I had a lot of people asking me things like, Alice, is the deal going to get better? They were running 20% off for the month of November, and people kept saying, is there going to be a 25% off closer to December? The answer was no. They did not raise the discount. They said that was the best discount of the year, and for 2024, it was the best discount of the year. It seems to be following exactly the same format. What Current Body does is they take the influencer code that usually gets 10% off, and for the month of November, that code gets 20% off instead. And the difference between 10 and 20% off when you're talking about something as pricey as an LED mask is actually just about 50 bucks. And I figure I'll just link you last year's video because really nothing has changed. Honestly, if you bought in 2024, you still have the best breaking technology. And the other sale that starts as of the day this video goes up is my beloved Regelica. Regelica is pretty much my skincare brand of the year. What they are is a bit of a higher end K-beauty inspired brand that ships out of the US, no need to worry about tariffs. The products are made in Korea, if you can possibly read my bottle here. Truly, if you can't tell, truly some of my favorite skincare products in existence. This has DNA repair enzymes, it has multiple forms of vitamin C derivatives, it has potent antioxidant ingredients, and it's gentle. It's so restorative. It is genuinely a product where I see such a big difference when I use this. And that code Alice is going to take 30% off everything. And you know me, I was playing around with the sets, very much including the sets, which means, given that some of them have a value price, about 50% off, plus a bunch of free gifts. So if you've ever been interested in that brand, now is the time to buy. One general tip before we move out of the ongoing sales is I've noticed the indies do tend to start their deals earlier. And if you're wondering if they're going to increase their deals come December, usually no. What I see from the indies is maybe some kind of free expedited shipping come the week of Christmas, which I'm over here laughing at because it's just so useless to me as somebody who has been shopping for the best deals since, you know, July. Let's talk about one more of these indie brands that runs essentially a longer sale compared to some of the bigger retailers, and that's going to be my beloved Stradia. Now, for 2024, Stradia actually had the best deal I had ever seen them do. Starting on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, they ran 25% off, and they actually stacked that with a freebie of their toner. I am so excited to see what they do this year because I'm pretty much expecting them to do this kind of sale, and we'll see if we get a freebie this year as well. Regardless, it is the best time of the year to get Stradia. Let's talk about a couple of deals that you're going to want to sign up for right about now. First of all, the Huda Beauty sale. I remember in 2023, she had 80% off some of the K-Ali sets. And we're talking about not discontinued fragrances, the fragrances that are still around. The Vanilla 28. Bundles with palettes. I guess they're saying even the Icy Nude is going to be included this year. Oh, I cannot wait to see what this includes. But you have to sign up in advance. I'll have that linked below. And just so you know, the Huda deal last year worked with an additional 10% cash back through Top Cashback. The only other sign up I want to talk about is the brand Verse. Verse just sent me an email that said if you are signed up for their emails, you will be among the first to shop their Black Friday deals. And I wanted to not only tell you about this as a Verse fan, but I also wanted to tell you that this is a strategy for a lot of companies. So if you really like a brand, make sure you're on their email list so that you do get that kind of notification so you are among the first to shop. Especially if you're shopping for things that are really on trend, really popular, that's when you do have more of a sellout risk. And so that's when it really is going to pay off to be among the first to shop. So now we're going to talk about some of the bigger retailers. We are moving into the week of Thanksgiving/Black Friday. And I'm going to kind of go a little bit in order here, which means I was just so completely shocked to see that the best beauty retailer deal, in my opinion, in my notes of 2024, was Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters, not the company that comes to people's minds first when you think about a beauty retailer, but I think that's the exact reason why the deals were so good. Starting on Monday of Thanksgiving week, they ran 40% off site-wide, and wow, that just absolutely puts the Sephora VIB sale to shame. Because they have a lot of the brands that Sephora has. They have Kosas, they have Experiment Beauty, they have Bioma, they have Flower Nose, they have even more. And 40% off everything. And then when Black Friday proper arrived, it was an additional 50% off items that were already on sale. Again, this absolutely was my favorite deal of 2024. It is one where it's going to benefit you to get there sooner rather than later. And the cashback wasn't as good in 2024. Ooh, in 2023, it used to be 16-17% cashback. But again, because this doesn't require a code, you do get your cashback. Let's talk briefly about the K-beauty retailers before we get into Ulta and Sephora. I know a lot of you are fellow K-beauty enthusiasts, and it might shock you to find out I didn't really shop the K-beauty Black Friday deals for a couple of reasons. One is the deals just weren't that good. They were kind of the deals that they have year-round. But the other part is that I do think it's worth considering that shipping is going to be slower no matter where you're shopping. So if you're factoring in international shipping from our K-beauty retailers, it's going to be slower the longer you wait. So if you're considering buying some gifts from maybe Yes Style, maybe Stylovana, honestly, there's a big argument to be made in placing those orders now. It is true that you might see some better deals from those retailers, but you also just might not get your order in before Christmas itself. And things are a little more tricky as this is the first year we've had tariffs, I think since I've been alive, right? But regardless, I will tell you about 2024's best, and that was absolutely Joel C. Again, you see in my little Instagram story here, I hadn't been holding back on K-beauty deals, they just weren't that special. But look at Black Friday proper. I bought every one of these. The Suisu set, oh, are you kidding? The Doinbi, that was the Rataplan sunscreen, which I will now never forget that name because we together learned what the word Rataplan means, and it does not relate to the movie Ratatouille. That Dr. G set, $15.99 for that. It was absolutely incredible deals, and what they did was just a whole week of cyber deals. Since this is ending up being where we talk about K-beauty, I will also throw in an extra detail for you. In 2023, Yes Style did 20% off on Black Friday, no minimum, incredible, it stacked with everything. They didn't do that in 2024. In fact, I was so disappointed to tell you that the best deal in terms of those flat coupons that Yes Style does was December 22nd when they did 18% off everything. No idea what's in store for 2025, but yes, that was the only two deals that I did end up shopping around this time of the year. We're going to talk about Sephora first, and we're going to move on to Ulta later because shockingly, Sephora has actually released their deals. I can't even believe it. This feels so early for them to tell us what to expect. So I see in my notes that they did exactly the same thing that they did for 2024, up to 50% off. I have in my notes, hold for KLARNA, and I'll explain that in a second. And then the KLARNA deal was December 2nd last year, Cyber Monday. Same exact story for 2025. Just so happy that I can confirm this. So let me tell you about the KLARNA deal. Normally, I am not somebody who would tell you to put beauty products on any kind of credit card or layaway. It's just not how I roll. But with KLARNA specifically, there is an option to pay in full at checkout, and that's how I roll. So I have done this now 2 years in a row. The great part about this is that you can stack a gift with purchase. They have these big beauty bags. Looks like they're going to have them for 2025 as well. Now, there is a limit. Unlike the VIB sale where you can get up to 20% off on, Dr. Dennis Gross masks. You can only do this for up to $200, up to a $40 discount, but you can place multiple orders. I think there might be a limit there as well. Maybe it's 2 for KLARNA and 2 for Afterpay. But this really is an incredible chance to get 25% off at Sephora, which you just cannot get unless you're opening up a credit card, aside from Cyber Monday. I have one more thing in my notes from Sephora's 2024 Black Friday. In early December, they actually sent out a second 20% off code. And this time they had dropped prices on sets, so some of them were just incredible deals. And let's end this video with ULTA. You all probably know at this point, I'm a big ULTA fan, but oh my goodness, ULTA let me down last year. So here's what I said for Black Friday of 2024. I said the ULTA coupon doesn't stack. Sale is real lackluster, and you can expect a gift with purchase bag of nothing but the ULTA brand. But see, here's the catch. For years I've said Cyber Monday is the best day to shop. Now, on Cyber Monday, what ULTA did in 2024 is they changed that coupon code, so now it stacks. Now, ULTA started Cyber Monday on Cyber Sunday. What they usually do is more deals, but a ton of gifts with purchases. Some of them did sell out on Cyber Sunday of last year, but they had a whole new batch on Monday. And I personally did place an order on Cyber Monday. I spent my points. I talk about this strategy all the time. You know, I'm exhausted from buying gifts for other people, but I still want to finish my shopping, so I spend points instead. But oh, how I kicked myself on Tuesday after Cyber Monday, because that was the day when ULTA finally sent out one of those much requested flat 20% offs, including prestige and fragrance. And then they had Platinum Perks Day on Wednesday after that. I think we call it Diamond Day now. And it was an incredible one. Those have been pretty lackluster this year as well. But then, per my notes, ULTA just keeps sending additional 20% off coupons and just keeps dropping prices even more. In my opinion, skip Black Friday, Cyber Monday entirely and just wait until December. In fact, if you are doing some Black Friday shopping for yourself, and no judgment whatsoever, what I actually noticed in 2024 was the absolute best day to shop of the entire year was Christmas Eve. It is true that they had some gifts with purchase that morning that did sell out, and they did not restock any more gifts with purchase, but the sets were discounted so much. That was the last day of those 20% off codes. It was just stellar deals if you were shopping for your own needs. I have a few more notes from ULTA that I don't want to forget about, especially because you may have seen when we scrolled through the Sephora items, 4x points on fragrance. ULTA has an incredible fragrance multiplier for those of you that also like fragrance. It was 12.15 of last year, and what they did is they had 3, 4, 5x points depending on your status. That's stacked with a 5x fragrance multiplier, and it was up to 13.5x points if you had a specific multiplier, and the one for 2024 was Jimmy Choo. Do you understand how much 13.5x points back is? I mean, if anybody needs a fragrance, that's a good time to give them Jimmy Choo. Now, I know we're well into December here, but I really want to make this video as helpful as possible, so I have one more reminder about ULTA, and that is the Love Your Skin event. If you are shopping for skincare, they do this event that is structured very similarly to the 21 Days of Beauty. It is basically for New Year's resolutions. So last year it started 12/29. I find that so funny. Is skincare a New Year's resolution for people? Because it's a lifestyle for me. You know it is. But I guess it's a New Year's resolution for some people. It will be 50% off, one day only deals. Again, exactly like the 21 Days of Beauty. Lots of options every year. All right, my friends, that brings us to the end of today's video. As always, I hope this was helpful. You can also feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. Talk about last year's Black Friday for you, or talk about ongoing Black Friday deals. Let's all help each other to get the best deal possible. Again, one more reminder, make sure you follow me on Instagram, where I will post the most up-to-date information. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all next time.